Have you ever met someone who feels like a winter morning, quiet, distant, wrapped in a cold layer you can't melt no matter how warm you try to be? Someone who doesn't react when you share something emotional, who stays calm when everyone else is breaking, who gives short responses, avoids compliments, and keeps their true feelings locked behind an invisible glass wall. Most people think emotionally cold people don't care. But the truth is, many of them feel too much, not too little. And what makes them cold is not the absence of emotion. It's the fear of it. Some people learned very early that showing emotion is dangerous. Maybe they grew up in a home where kindness was rare and weakness was punished. Maybe they loved someone deeply and were abandoned, lied to, or betrayed in ways that left scars that never healed. Or maybe no one ever taught them how to express emotion. So silence became their safest language. Whatever the cause, emotionally. Cold people live in a quiet world inside their mind where feelings are carefully controlled, measured, and hidden. Being close to them feels like trying to touch something behind frozen glass. You can see it, but you can't reach it. But the psychology behind their coldness is far more complex and often heartbreaking. Emotionally cold people learn to survive by staying detached. They protect themselves by keeping emotional distance from everyone, even people they care about. When someone gets too close, instead of moving forward, they step back. When they start to feel something, they shut down. When someone wants to connect deeply, they act indifferent. This isn't because they don't want closeness. It's because deep inside, closeness feels unsafe. Imagine carrying a heart that has been hurt again and again. Most people try again. But emotionally cold people hit a point where they say, never again. So they build a quiet, visible armor around themselves, not to hurt others, but to protect the little softness they still have left. Their psychology is often shaped by early life experiences. Children who grow up without emotional safety parents, who are unpredictable, distant, critical, or never affectionate, often learn a survival pattern called emotional suppression. They suppress laughter, they suppress tears, they suppress anger, fear, excitement, love. The world teaches them that showing emotion is risky, so they start to believe that if they feel less, they'll hurt less. But the truth is, they don't feel less. They just show less. Emotionally cold people are often misunderstood. People think they're rude, arrogant, or heartless. But if you look closely, you'll see the signs of someone who actually feels overwhelmed by emotion, not empty. When someone compliments them, they freeze not because they don't appreciate it, but because they don't know how to receive warmth. When someone says, "I miss you," they respond with a simple, "okay," or "whom." Not because they don't care, but because the weight of emotion makes them uncomfortable. When someone tries to hug them, stiff them not because they don't want affection, but because their body isn't used to it. To them, emotions are like fire. Warm, beautiful, but dangerous. Their coldness is often a mechanism of control. They fear losing control if they become emotional. People who have been emotionally hurt often develop hypercontrol to avoid vulnerability. They don't want to depend on anyone. They don't want to need anyone. They don't want anyone to see their weaknesses, so they hide their emotions deep inside, behind layers of logic, silence, and distance. But here's something surprising. Emotionally, cold people often form very strong bonds with a very small number of people. They don't open up easily, but when they do, it's deep, loyal, and long-lasting. They don't trust quickly, but when trust is earned, they become incredibly dependable. The problem is, most people never get close enough to see this side of them. Their relationships often struggle. They're not good at emotional reassurance. They don't say "I love you" often. They don't comfort others in the way people expect. Someone is crying, they might stand there awkwardly, unsure what to do. When someone expresses pain, they might respond with logic instead of empathy. Not because they don't care, but because emotional expression wasn't part of their world growing up. They express love differently through consistency. Actions, responsibility, and presence. But since they don't express love emotionally, people assume they don't feel it. Emotionally cold people also need more time to process feelings. While others react immediately, these individuals take hours or even days to understand what they're feeling. Their brain goes into analysis mode. What does this mean? Why do I feel this way? Is it safe to express it? Will something bad happen if I open up? This slow processing makes them seem detached or uninterested, even when they're actually overwhelmed. Many emotionally cold people also have a deep fear of disappointment. They've been let down so many times that they expect it. They assume people will leave. They assume love will fade. They assume closeness will end in heartbreak, so they keep their emotions inside to avoid the pain they believe is inevitable. This fear doesn't make them weak, it makes them human. Their silence is not emptiness. Self-protection. Their distance is not rejection. It's caution. Their coldness is not cruelty. It's a shield. If you observe them carefully, you'll notice small details that reveal their emotional world. When someone they care about is upset, they may not say much, but they'll stay nearby. When someone they love is going through something hard, they'll quietly help behind the scenes. When someone they like enters the room, their body language changes subtly. Eyes soften, shoulders relax, breathing slows. Emotionally cold people speak through actions. It's not words. But here's the deeper psychology. Most emotionally cold people want connection. They want love. They want understanding. They want someone who sees beyond their emotional walls. But they fear that if someone sees the real them, soft, sensitive, vulnerable, they'll get hurt again. So they hold back. Their coldness is also linked to emotional fatigue. When someone has spent years caring too much, hurting too much, or giving too much, their mind reaches a point where it says, no more, no. And that's when emotional numbness begins. It's a defense, not a decision. Interestingly, emotionally cold people are often extremely empathetic deep inside. They observe people closely. They read body language well. They're sensitive to tone and subtle emotional cues. But they don't react emotionally on the outside. Their empathy is quiet, not loud. In friendships, they're selective. They don't like large friend groups. They prefer one or two people they trust. They don't like drama. They don't like emotional chaos. They like stability, calmness, predictability. If someone is overly emotional or demanding, they withdraw even further. They prefer relationships where emotions are respected but not overwhelming. Their coldness also makes them highly independent. They rely on themselves more than anyone else. They don't ask for help. They don't express needs. They handle problems alone, even when it hurts. They see self-reliance as safety. But the most important thing to understand is this. Emotionally cold people are not broken. They're not heartless. They're not damaged beyond repair. They're people who felt deeply and learned to hide it because life taught them to. Their emotional coldness is a story of survival, a story of protection. A story of a heart that wants warmth but fears the burn. And the ironic part? The colder they seem on the outside, the warmer they usually are on the inside.